Hey folks, welcome back to Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. We're here in Drangleic Castle. In the last episode, we did a loop around and activated an elevator. In this episode, we're gonna ride that elevator. And fight a boss or something, you know. And we're gonna open that door. But elevator first. And as you may recall, this is a very long elevator. Very long. Anybody know any knock-knock jokes? Post your favorite knock-knock joke in the comments. Alright, so, what was it that that Vendrick or whoever, or Nashandra possibly, wanted to hide so much that they put it in the highest room in the tallest tower? Oh. I'm sorry, did I walk in on something? Do you need water or something? So, somehow this humanoid creature is being used as a lock to imprison this woman in a cage. It's really unsettling. Don't be crass. So yeah, we can't open this cage right now. We need the key to the embedded. Now, what the heck is that? We'll get there in time. Here we have the strong magic shield. It's kind of a counterpart to great magic weapon. Imbues the offhand shield with magic, and reinforce the shield to absorb additional damage if you like. Certain members of the Melthian Magic Academy scoff at these types of magic. The purists in particular are disdainful of anything vaguely linked to sword fighting. It's like, man, you're making magic so much less cool. That's not cool, man. You should just shoot magic out of your stick. Also Soul Vessel and a Fire Seed if you want to do a build alteration. And the key to King's Passage. This is what we really came up here for. Where's it? Here we go. King Vendrick tried all manner of things to purge the curse that threatened his kingdom, but when every last attempt failed, the king fled through the King's Passage. So he did all that research, he peered into the essence of the soul, he did some unsavory things, if that Mastodon information is anything to go by. Ultimately, none of it worked, and he fled. Maybe out of shame, maybe for some other reason. Anyway, we're gonna come back for you. Don't worry, we'll come back. But we need to find Vendrick. Knock knock. Banana. Knock knock. Banana. Knock knock. Orange. Orange, you glad I didn't say banana? That's literally the only knock-knock joke I could think of to fill the time. I'm sorry. Anywho, welcome to King's Passage. There'll be a splash screen in a sec, hold on. Yeah, there we go. King's Passage. So this is where Vendrick fled through after his experiments and his research failed, and he was unable to stop the curse. He ran through here. Here we got an alluring skull. Here you'll see there's an image of a tree. This might be related to the Gimungo huge great trees, whatever they were called in Dark Souls 1, that kind of you saw rising from Ash Lake and held Lordrin aloft. Might be a similar tree here. It's reminiscent of Yggdrasil, if you want to go that way. We're also just going to see some tree stuff coming up. Not in this episode. Well, at the tail end of this episode, I guess. So this is a precursor, an indicator of things to come. And man, this place is not as well furnished as the rest of the castle. Walls are peeling away. Anyway, so you may remember, as we were going through the castle... Also, look, those candles are still lit. That's different from the rest of the rest of the castle. You may remember, as we were going through the castle, that we saw a lot of these headless statues. Not one of them came to life. Well, if you look carefully, some of them still have their heads in this hallway. We're gonna have to do some fighting. Now, I could snipe them from far away and I'd be able to, like, kill one unabated. I do know that if you kill one, all the rest will activate. So, it's kind of better to rush in and, get a little melee going on in there, so at least you're closer to the other ones that activate. Oh boy, oh boy. So these guys fight very stylishly. They use twin blades. They also don't want to leave King's Passage, which is nice for me. They use twin blades, so they kind of do cool flips and kicks and all sorts of things like that. And their movesets are just a little bit atypical. They're not your typical sword swingers, so they can be a little hard to read if you're not used to them. But I believe it's just the 4 of them. And then there is a boss on the other end. And you'll note there are 2 summon signs right out here. There's also a bunch of items, and I mentioned in the last episode I wanted to try to get Luet over here, Sellsword Luet. And I know through nefarious means, such as having to record this more than once, I know that I can, in fact, get Luet for this fight. So I'm going to run and grab him. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, went and grabbed Luet. So we're going to have a full party for this boss fight, which is pretty dope. Also, look at this. Is that snow coming through? I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's probably rain, actually. Anyway, our other 2 summons are our good friend Ashen Knight Boyd and Benhart of Jugo. If you have been talking to him at all his locations and exhausting his dialogue, he will be available to summon here. So this upcoming boss fight, don't underestimate it. It's one that I typically have trouble with. It's very climactic. It was featured in some early trailers. And if you're not perfectly equipped, it can be a little bit tricky. Also, I might recommend playing offline. Just a hint. This is the Looking Glass Knight. Whoop, that didn't work. So the Looking Glass Knight, he's a big dude in armor. His main, his gimmicks, I suppose, kind of, one, are lightning. He can charge lightning into his sword, like so. All the other gimmicks kind of center around that mirror that he has as a shield. Now, the thing about that mirror is that it is always active as a shield. With a lot of other enemies, like the Mastodons, for example, their shields are only active when they are holding them up, and otherwise you can just kind of slash through them. Not the case here. If you are attacking from the wrong direction, that shield will block you. And this is where my kind of dual-wield setup really helps, because I can attack from either direction if I so desire. Let's be careful here. You can see he can do kind of a sweeping wave attack there. Now, when he places his shield down like that, he is summoning somebody to help him. If you're playing online, it can be another player. If you're playing offline, it will be an NPC. And it looks like we got an NPC here anyway, even though I am online. So let's get rid of this guy real quick. If you don't have allies, him summoning people can be really annoying, because you've got to divert your attention between two enemies. You know, it's just always kind of tricky in Dark Souls games. And especially when he's doing those sweeping wave lightning attacks, trying to keep track of both enemies at once can be difficult. And God help you if he actually summons a human. That really sucks. But we made it through. That's a boss I often struggle with, not gonna lie. So yeah, fighting a giant dude in armor that shoots lightning in the rain, surrounded by the crumbling ruins of the castle. It's cool as heck. And there's lightning. Lightning makes everything cool. Let's check out his soul. It's the soul of the Looking Glass Knight who challenges visitors to the Lordless Castle. Long ago, the King's Passage was a route taken by the bravest warriors to prove themselves, but now it only prevents one from pursuing the runaway king. So, again, an knowledge that King Vendrick fled through this area. But if it was a challenging area, if it was a place where people proved themselves, dude was still pretty strong to be able to run away through it. Anyway, real quick, we got an item in here. Soul Bolt. And some other stuff that we don't really care about. One of the sorceries devised by Strayed, the great mage of ancient Alathus, fires a blinding, piercing bolt of light. Strayed started with an unwieldy spell that backfired on its caster, and in time, perfected it. Strayed's pretty cool. Well, how can I refuse that? I hope you enjoyed being above ground, because we're about to go down. Deep, deep down. It's definitely a visual metaphor that Vendrick is going so far down after failing to cure the curse. He's at his lowest point, quite literally, but also emotionally. And rather than the beautifully groomed Drangleic Castle, we have this overgrown mess of roots and vines, with only bits of debris to indicate that that humans were once here. Welcome to the Shrine of Amana. well, we'll explore this in more detail in the next episode. For now, let's get back to Majula. I have 109,000 souls to spend. Let's go. Now, I know I don't have enough petrified dragon bones to increase my barbed club, so I'm just gonna jump straight into leveling up. Although I do have I have sublime bone dust. Make my Estus stronger.
Is that a shard you found? Here, let me see it. To see light, to see hope. However faint it might be.
And we can upgrade our Estus. Get more Estus, rather than making it stronger. Just overall, getting it better. Now we got a bunch of levels here. I'm going to prioritize my offensive stats. And let's go for a little more health. And I'll spend the rest on healing gems, on life gems. I know I've used a lot of them. Now, I think the Emerald Herald might have some new dialogue for us. Let's check it out.
Bearer of the curse, I will always be at your side until hope has fully withered.
It won't.
That tiny thing inside the ruins. An ancient being that will mock your very existence.
No, she's just talking about Shelquar, whatever.
Sound was provided you.
I thought she might have a little bit more to say, but oh well. Anyway, that wraps up Castle Drangleic Castle. That's the order of the words. And in the next episode, we will explore the Shrine of Amana. It's a heck of an area. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.